What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Luke.
And welcome back to episode 17 of Holy Heck, I Really Like Love Live, our podcast where we go into detail and analyze every single Love Live song from the beginning until now. So, last time we talked about Jimo I. Now, last time we talked about all the Aqours summer vacation songs. Yeah. I'm a big fan of last episode. We had a guest. That was a good episode if you haven't seen that. I'll go back and watch that one.
They're all good episodes.
Yeah, but that one was pretty
Little
good.
did you know.
Okay, so little thing before moving forward. You might notice a little bit. We got two songs on the agenda today. Don't want to make this part too long. We just wanted to do songs in more detail and cut down on time to the videos, just because hour-long videos are really intimidating to a lot of people, and we don't want to scare people away. And we want to be really thorough with our reviews. So that's pretty much it. So we got some good songs today. That's all I wanted to say, really. Hope you don't mind. Anyway. So last time we asked what your favorite phase of summer was as dictated by the summer vacation songs. So that would be like the first hey, it's June, it's just starting. Manatsu wa Dare no Mono, which is like the midsummer nights. Jimo I, where you're getting lazy around like the start of August. And the last one, Natsu no Owai no Amaoto ga, there we go, which is, like fall's approaching, that phase. So we got one here.
September.
Yeah. So we got one here from Psycho Everyday that says, the favorite phase of summer is the one where fall is coming up. My history at the beach is 93% negative, featuring jellyfish stings, head injuries, and pissed off bees. They're gonna give it 1 star on Yelp. I'm also a 6-time world-class champion in the drowning Olympics, so no pools for me. Plus, I grew up in SoCal, so any chance of rain is always welcomed by me. The idea of maybe getting a day below 80 degrees Fahrenheit gets me hyped. Yeah, I hate bees too. It's something my friends know a lot about me. I don't really have any like.
You posted Jimo I about.
Oh, and of course, Jimo I 400 times below that. Very important. Now, everybody that knows me knows that I hate bees more than anything in the world. Like I go on record saying like, I don't care if every bee or bee related thing in the world, so wasps, hornets, all dies, and then we get like 3 days of Earth left before it just implodes and there's no bees to sustain the ecosystem. But dude, that'll be the best 3 days of my life, I'm telling you. I'd go outside, I'd do all kinds of stuff outside if there were no bees. So that's that one.
Yeah, let us know down below if you like bees or not. Speaking of letting us down,
starting early.
Thinking about letting us know down below. Shout out to Styx, answered all the questions. That's my hero. And then shout out to Dextroy Fuller. We got his answer here. My favorite phase of summer is the Ruby Dia one. I don't know the names. Don't flame me in the chat.
Manatsu wa Dare no Mono.
Yeah, that one. I just picture those long midsummer sunsets. I don't know what they're saying, dude. Come on. During July and August, when you're sipping on a slushie or munching on a popsicle on your balcony / patio / porch, watching the sun slowly slink. You remember Slink from Toy Story? Yeah. Sink down below the horizon. With the sky painted that rich gold for so long, it feels like a real glimpse into eternity. It's getting really deep in this one.
Yeah, that is pretty deep.
At least. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I like girls.
Deep there. I chose his because he's right. You really see all of mankind's history on those midsummer nights. It all flashes before your eyes.
Do you feel the need to be deep because Dextroy Fuller is being deep? Is that what's going on right now?
I think I was a 17th century monk in my past life. 17th century Tibetan monk. Yeah.
That's pretty specific. I don't know about that one.
Well, it's specific because I've seen it.
Not getting into your comfort zone? Listen, like the phase I talked about, that's my least favorite phase of summer. Come on, man. You got to get out of your comfort zone. What don't you like about summer? Are you not a big fan of Jimo I?
What don't I like about summer?
Yeah.
It's too hot. It's like 100 degrees in Fairbanks, dude. Hell no. But shout out to California right now. The entire state's just combusted and is on fire. So that's pretty cool.
We could definitely use some
California.
But now September rain. That'd be pretty.
Send your prayers / thoughts to California.
So we got some interesting songs today. We got yet another Honoka solo. What is this, number 22?
We got another block on our hands. We got the first Blu-ray block. These were all songs that came with the Blu-ray discs. When you got the discs, you got the song as well. And there's like 40 of them because Lantis is always trying to take all of our money.
They're good though. They are pretty good.
They're all pretty good, except for one of them. I'm gonna have issues with, the last one.
But don't worry.
Boy.
Wait. Oh, that last one.
No. The one you're thinking of is way better. Oh, it's way better. We get to talk about my least favorite Love Live song. I'm so excited.
Oh, don't worry, everyone, because I am a pretty big fan of that song. I'm a pretty big fan of both the songs. One of them's in my top 10, the other one's in my top, 50. So don't worry.
Wow. Very impressive.
Alright, so how about Yume, Yume, Yume? That's how I know the song. I don't actually know the name of the song. I never, I do know the name of the song, but I've called it, Yume Cubed, 3 times.
Is this the Doki 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 song? Oh yes, Doki Doki Sunshine song?
Oh yes, Doki Doki Sunshine? No, this is Yume, Yume, Yume. Play Yume, Yume, Yume.
Last week in the summer vacation songs, we talked a lot about percussion and how neat the percussion is in all the songs in that CD. I love the percussion in this song. There's this really cool snare play that goes on throughout the entire chorus, and it's really easy to pick up on if you play SIF specifically, because the beats go the beat map goes along with the snare play. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, actually, it's really funny you say that, because I messaged EJ last week, and specifically talking about Sunny Day Song, but it also kind of happens in Hand in Hand a little bit, I think. And yeah, I completely forgot that this song was on the horizon. I was like, EJ, there's this drum beat that I really like, and I want to talk about eventually on the show. Like, what is it? Tell me what this is. And he was like, I'm sure something this popular has a name. And he got back to me a few days later. It's technically an old school Motown beat, but it's just sped up. And all it is really just kind of like a snare on every beat and a kick on every offbeat, so it's really fast paced. Right, yeah. And yeah, it's just a Motown beat kind of adjusted for rock and J-pop, I guess. So
yeah, adjusted for pop, and it's really well done. I talked about that was in the chorus, but the drums throughout the entire song is really well done. I think a lot of people would get stuck on the guitar in this song.
The guitar is so very prevalent in the song. Yeah, you're totally right.
But man, those drums do such a good job of lifting it up.
I agree. But there's also some really cool things in the background of the song. I didn't really realize on my first listen, because casually listening to the song versus actually going in and trying to listen to the song. You know what I mean? There's organ in the song, and that's really interesting to see from Love Live in general. It's just background organ in the verse. I think that's really, really interesting. I really I've said it 5,000 times, but when you see unique stuff like this in a Love Live song, it's just always, it just makes the song stand out so much to me. No matter how cut and paste this song is compared to other songs, if it has something like organ in it, it's wow, it's great.
Right, yeah. Something, and we're talking about backing here, but God, Honoka is such a good singer. Yeah. She's just, this is just another example of her being the super solid vocalist. Really no flaws. No matter what the style. I wouldn't really say anything that blows you away, but man, just so incredibly solid, and she's great.
She's super great. No,
of course.
Yeah, even no matter the style, I feel this is definitely on her Prantamsi side. You know what I mean? Just way more bubbly.
Yeah, she's a pop star.
Yeah,
she's usually she can do a lot of different things, but primarily she sings pop. I saw a chart one time where it was talking about what girls sing what, and obviously she has the most centers, and like a vast majority of her songs are pop songs that she centers in.
That's a really good chart. I'd like to see that. Can we talk about the composer to this song? I want to mention that. It's pretty funny. So I mentioned a few videos ago, maybe like last video, how my biggest thing in Love Live is always getting told how similar the composers are, or rather how the composers' songs that they composed are similar to the other songs that they composed. And I kind of like made like a little vow to myself that I'd always start looking into the composers for this song, and I'm really glad I did. Because this song is composed by Hyo Takada, and he also made everything. Like he made a lot of stuff, and he specializes in things that make you incredibly hype. Like we got 1-2 Jump, Moment Ring, Wild Stars, Takaramanos.
Oh, speaking of Wild Stars,
yeah, we'll talk about Wild Stars. But the big thing that this composer did was Kito Seishun ga Kiko Eru. Right? That's the ending for season 1. Right? Season 1? I'm pretty sure it's season 1. I'm 90% that season.
It's an ending.
It's an ending, yeah. And and I was listening to Yume. I'm like, this sounds so familiar. Where did I hear this from? And when Honoka goes, I say fight, Kimi no Tameni, I'm like, hold on. And then like the ending replayed in my head, and I heard Kito Seishun ga Kiko Eru. I'm like, oh, no way. Like, it's the same song, and it's the same composer, like literally the same notes. I was like, all right. That's pretty cool.
Something else that I feel like the song, where if you talk about things that are similar with it, I know if you look like directly at it, it's not insanely like it, but it follows kind of the same vocal track. It's kind of like Suzume Tomorrow in how it kind of moves, right, getting louder to quiet, you know, and how how much quicker the chorus is than the verse. And it's something that I kind of appreciate, because I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a grown-up version of that song, you know.
I agree. I feel like if anything, it did a little bit of a better job than Suzume Tomorrow. Like,
oh yeah,
you're totally right that like when you say that, I'm able to like think and go, oh yeah, you know, that's like a thing. But it's not like when you're actively listening to Suzume Tomorrow, it's like, oh, I guess to the verse, like, oh.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. They're, you know, they're not. It's not like the comparison you just made, but you can kind of say, hey, it's kind of like a grown up version of that song, and it's kind of neat because that was the first song in the anime, and this was the first Blu-ray song, so it's kind of a neat little parallel there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're talking about like from going from chorus to verses, though, when she drops into the second verse, sorry, after the first chorus. The first verse leads into it with like pretty high energy, but the second verse, it's such a sheer drop off from how much like high energy there was in the first chorus, and I really appreciate that. Like that's something that I really appreciate about the song and Love.
Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like we're contradicting ourselves now, though. Talking about in Suzume Tomorrow, where it's like the same thing kind of happened, except we weren't as big of a fan of it. Where it's like, oh, you know, when that happens. But in this song,
no, I liked it. I just don't think the song sounds good.
The truth come out. Can we talk about the instrumentation of the song? It's really good. We already mentioned I almost said the vocals. We did talk about the vocals, but the organ's one thing. But the really popular guitar riff that you hear over like almost the entire song, you know that one. I think it's really interesting because that's pretty complex. Like, it's nothing crazy, but we have like the simplest chords of all time under that, which is not very common for a Love Live song, because Love Live songs are usually incredibly complex, like in terms of just like even just the rhythm. They're very, very like, I don't want to say advanced, but there's just so much going on. And it's really interesting to see the contrast between, at the same time, something that's really complex and something that's extremely simple, just because they made it work so well together. Speaking of working well together, we got two singers next song, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mentioned how good the song is in SIF earlier, but I'm going to touch on it again with talking about that guitar solo that, you know, begins the song, and in SIF it ends the song as well. You know, you only go through the first verse and chorus. And it's I don't like to talk about SIF beat maps that much. I do it every once in a while, but man, the beat map to this song is just fantastic. It's a daily expert, you know. and it's just so good because all the notes are always like offbeat, and you can say that's terrible design. What are you doing, Bushi Road? About here, I'm here to say, or K-Lab, sorry, my apologies, they'll sue. But I'm here to say, man, that is fun to play.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that kind of follows suit with the drum beat that we have for most of the song.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. You know, it kind of plays the notes do a good job of playing off the drum beat and making you just hitting the note in time and the noise it makes the song better. And same with the guitar part. And it's cool that when they do that, they don't do it very often. They're the worst, but in this song they do it really well.
I do like when SIF gives you a deeper appreciation for the song because the actual beat map kind of makes you think about things that you wouldn't normally think about in a song. That's rare, but it has happened a few times, and I think this is one of the songs that does happen.
I gotta find the beat map version of this song where it also has the SIF noises over the top. Let's get it.
The oh, what was I going to say? Oh, this is the first I think this is the first slide note song I ever attempted. This is a slide note song, right?
I died immediately.
Yeah, I
play
started
with thumbs.
I started this. I do play with thumbs. Like I was like, how hard could slide notes be? I almost got past the first guitar solo, almost. Not.
I think I almost beat it, and then I died at the last guitar solo because man, slide notes with thumbs is just unfortunate.
I've been able to beat like quite a few slide note songs with thumbs, but nothing like. There's one or two. I think Nukopuri is my nemesis right now.
I think I've played 2 slide note songs because I just don't play that stupid game. I'm sorry. Well, that was mean. Well, let me know down below if it's a stupid game or not, because I don't think it is. I don't know where that came from. I guess I'm just furious about slide notes right now.
You're just projecting, dude. You've had that bottled up for years.
Yeah, decades. I think I played like 2 slide note songs, and I think I failed one of them and passed the other one. I don't know. I don't play that stupid game.
Stop.
Oh man. Oh god. Somebody get this demon out of me.
I did want to talk about real quick, like we're kind of already talking about, like kind of done with the instrumentation, but in the first verse, I always mention it when I do hear it. As soon as the organ starts, right, in kind of like the second part of the first verse, we have plucked strings over it, and man, I love some plucked strings, in addition to some just regular strings. And I'm always in awe of composers like this because I see stuff like this happening, and I'm like, you know, I would have never thought of this, and I'm happy someone else did because wow, it's pleasing to the ears. And just wow.
that's a good way of describing the song. Like it's just pleasing to the ears. When I was at work today, just thinking about I gotta play these 2 songs a bunch to like know what I want to say about them later today, and it just like came on when I was just naturally listening to my phone. Man, it's just like a super pleasing to the ear song. That's like a very good way of describing it.
Overall, great song. Good song. Very good song. I don't mind if Honoka has 50 solos if this is one of them. You feel?
Yeah. All of Honoka's solos are just really good.
It'd be weird if like
this is another one that's good.
Honoka had 1 million solos, but they were all bad. Like, that's not the case. Like if anyone,
I feel bad. I think she's got 5.
I think
and all 5 of them are really good.
Yeah, they are really good. You ready to move on to Anemone Heart?
Or as I like to used to say it, Anemone Heart.
That's how they say it in the song. You know, you're not. So it's not as dumb as you might think.
That when you first said like the words Anemone Heart, I was like, what? Like that's stupid. It's not pronounced like that. And then I like thought about it for a second. I'm stupid.
It's English. All right. Anyway, Anemone Heart. So I don't normally start out like just immediately with the backing before we talk about like the singers in the song or anything, but I feel like it really sets the mood for the entire song, and I want to hop into lyrics right after that. But this is kind of like the format of a normal 4-chord song, but not really. Excuse my horrible mouth noises, but it just kind of goes from like a bum 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 bum, and it just keeps doing that over and over again. So it kind of goes up. And like it starts with a normal 4-chord format, which would normally start bum 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 bum, but then it goes down, and then it goes kind of like a slow arpeggio back up, and I really like the sound of that because it reminds me of a line cliche. That's my thing, and that just, man, I'm a huge fan of that, and that happens constantly in this song. So despite the fact that I'm not the biggest EDM fan in the world, I can still really get behind the backing just because I like it a lot musically.
Well, if you want to like find a way to combine the vocals and the backing, this is kind of like a weird statement, but I feel pretty strongly about it. Kotori's almost like another synth in the background in this song because it's like,
you know what, you're totally right.
Incredibly high her voice is, and that's not a bad thing. But Kotori's pretty shrieky. That's good. It's good to be shrieky sometimes when you're Kotori specifically. It's the acquired taste part of it. But she almost like plays the role of another synth in the background, and she does like an excellent job harmonizing in the choruses, playing this high harmony role, which usually isn't great by itself. It's good to have a high and a low harmonizer, but she nails it really well and lets Umi kind of take over the choruses.
Yeah, I was actually going to say how it's like almost borderline weird to see like Kotori in this EDM kind of like setting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I think the dynamic between Umi and Kotori is absolutely fantastic. And I feel like in a lot of the song, Kotori's voice is a lot less prevalent. And she kind of like you said, kind of becomes like
takes a backseat.
High harmony mode. You know, like I think that's super cool. And I think this song is really interesting in that regard because we get to see, well, Umi is a little bit more familiar with EDM, wouldn't you say? Like,
I would say like more familiar, but it's not exactly in her wheelhouse. But really,
I agree.
Umi's the kind of voice where anything's in her wheelhouse, if that makes sense. Well, with Kotori, you don't expect this kind of song. You expect kind of that fluffy pop song, Blueberry Chain, Blueberry Train-esque. While with Umi, you can pretty much expect anything because she's capable of anything.
Right. It's kind of like juxtaposition mode, like kind of like Hanayo in After School Navigators. There we go.
Right, yeah. Or even either of the rock songs in Prontoms.
Yeah, totally. You're right. You want to talk about flowers? Are you into flowers? I like flowers.
Flowers okay. But, let us know down below what your favorite flower is. Mine's tulips. I like tulips. Pretty basic.
Tulips are nice. I like lilies.
The lilies are good.
So the whole kind of like, after they say, lonely my love, lonely my heart, they say, I am not a flower bud. And I guess that's kind of symbolizing, like, I don't, we don't usually get too in-depth with lyrics, but I think the lyrics in this song are pretty interesting, actually. I am not a flower bud, and then they say, lonely my love, lonely my heart, again, and then they say, I want to be picked, and that's just like, kind of like, like, ready for love, like.
ooh, dude, this song, they only got Maki in it. They're talking about getting down and dirty.
This song isn't even a BB song, what the hell?
Yeah,
despite it sounding a lot like a BB song.
and you have two characters like Kotori and Umi, and Umi is like this, she's lily white, like pure, she's very pure, and you have Kotori, this very pure character. Like when you think of Prontoms, I think of the purest member of Prontoms is like pretty easily Kotori, and like Umi is just this beautiful flower, and then you have this song.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting again how we have
they ain't kids no more. They're ready to get down and dirty.
We have a hugely BB song with no members of BB. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I
appreciate we were talking about like putting vocalists outside of their comfort zone, putting characters outside of their comfort zone, like lyrically, I think is always pretty neat.
Yeah, that's like, everyone always talks about Love Marginal. For every member of Prontoms, it's like, oh, this is a little, like, interesting, kind of like a little yandere.
It still, like, comes down to, like, being kind of like this sappy love song. Well, this, not quite as much,
I think it's pretty much kind of like a love song, kind of.
It's a love song, but it's not exactly sappy anymore. It's getting a little saucy.
Talking about flowers, like, I'm ready to release my spores.
A little bit of the sauce. Oh, you can't say that on the podcast. That's too saucy.
So anyway, there's this really, really common EDM thing. I don't know if it has a name other than just the transition, but it always happens right before the verse and also right before the chorus. It kind of sounds like you know what like a record scratch sounds like? It's like the digital equivalent of a record scratch of like everything just melting like
right, yeah.
And then like the beat starts picking up again. And I think that's really great. Like, I mean, as if it wasn't obvious enough that, you know, the you know, where the verse and the chorus is. Although, do you mind if I say one criticism real quick I have of this?
Sure.
I think it's really cool when it happens from the chorus to the verse because it goes from high energy to medium energy, like, you know, like we were
it's a
talking
really
about
easy
before.
way to transition into it.
However, I do feel like going from the verse to the chorus in this way is a little weird because you're not toning down the energy. It's the opposite of that. You're really kind of like going crazy, you know? So I do find it a little weird when then the instrumental kind of cuts out for a sec just to go into the chorus. Like, you can argue that it's like cool and like if it's your thing, then absolutely that's awesome. But it's just kind of weird to me. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. If you want to get like some shock factor out of your song, I think it's a really great way of doing it because you might think going into the chorus, oh, we're gonna level out a little bit, we're gonna slow it down, and then they just slap you across the face. You know, I think that's something that is valuable to have in a song. If it's well executed or not is different, but I think it's a really neat idea and really neat way of going about it.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the vocals. We'll talk about the lyrics in a little bit. So we already kind of talked about the vocals a little bit, but I do think it's really interesting to note how just if you were to name two opposites in Love Live, I might have said Umi and Kotori and Hanayo, but I feel like Umi and Kotori is very close to being
second place.
Pure opposites.
That's 1A, 1B, you know, and
100% opposites.
Yeah, they sing super differently. Umi's strength is her like vibrato and just her like pure singing talent, you know. Very like she's incredibly technical, while Kotori is not technical. And like I guess you could call that shrilling vibrato, but that's a stretch.
I do think I mentioned it before how Kotori definitely has like she's definitely 100% an acquired taste to
and I think a taste
when
that
you're getting
into
Love Live
by the end of their Love Life
journey. Yeah,
their journey.
Now it's always so funny because it happened to me, and as my girlfriend is getting into Love Live, it's happening to her, and it's so funny. Like where I'm like listening to Kotori, I'm like, sick. She must be the harmonizer. This can't be lead vocals, and everyone's like, nah, she's the lead, and I'm like. No,
it's charming.
She's not.
It's charming. Like you have these little. We talk about like the vocal quirks of the girls, and that's the best part of the singing is the vocal quirks. Like obviously you can be blown away by great vocal talent like Nanjo singing Ellie or Mimorin singing Umi or King singing Hanamaru, but those vocal quirks are always just so fun to hear, and that's. I know we've said it before, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The vocal quirks are one of the best parts of Love Live.
Right, I completely agree. I mean, I really like my ear for determining different girls in a song, like when there's no guide or anything, isn't as good as someone like EJ or, you know, the people that make the color-coded videos and actually do a really good job of it. So it does make it a lot easier. Like, I'm never, ever going to confuse Kotori with Umi, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. That one's pretty
That will literally never happen. We could talk more about lyrics, though. I got some kind of weird, like, metaphor going on here, and I'm not sure if this is reaching.
It's sex.
It's not sex. No.
Spoiler alert.
It's kind of reachy,
sex.
but not really. So
sex.
we're talking about we're talking about anemones a lot in this song, which are like kind of like coral reef kind of plants, and they're also actual flowers. But
you ever see Finding Nemo? Not you. I'm asking the crowd. Yeah, see, they'll know. They'll know now. Go on. Sorry.
And in traditional Love Live, I guess this is really just Japanese music. A lot of Japanese music has different lyrics in the chorus compared to American music, which is almost always the chorus stays the same, especially in more popular music. But so in the chorus when they start singing like Anemone heart, my lonely heart, I think that's what they say. That kind of rhymes, by the way, but not really.
Perfect rhyming.
Yeah. In the second verse, and they say Acacia Heart, which is they're trying to say acacia, which if you don't know, that's kind of a that's an Australian tree. Shout out to SSJ Basilia. That's it's kind of like an Australian tree that grows in like savannas, so it's very dry, right? That's like a thing about it. It looks like a tree you'd think of when you think of like a savanna tree, like in Africa, like like the short but long boy. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like the leaves on top. Yeah. And I think that's a really deep contrast between acacia trees and anemones.
They've been ravaged. It's sex. It was sex all along.
Stop. Because one like is literally in water constantly, and the other is like about as dry as like floral life.
That's a different sexual innuendo there.
This isn't about sex. I'm gonna kill you, I swear.
Are you sure? It's starting to sound like it.
No, anyway, follow me up on this one. So, after both, they talk about being lonely, and I think that's really neat because it's like, in their situation, it's like, I'm lonely no matter what. Like, nothing's gonna make me happy unless I'm with you, because they go on to say that. And I think, I do think I'm reaching a little bit with this one, but I do think it's something worth saying. And it was also a super great minute.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I would like to agree with you on what it is, but chat, let us know down below. Is it about sex or trees?
I feel like you can almost never say for sure. I feel like you can almost never say for sure when you're analyzing actual English lyrics in Japanese. You're like, is this what they really meant?
Like, I'll go looking through our Twitter. God,
oh my goodness.
Oh, can't say that on the podcast. I'll go looking through our Twitter feed and be like, oh man, look at all these things the Seiyus said. And then like I hit the translate button and wow, that's not what they wanted to say at all.
Yeah. We got Dream in the latest Aqours opening. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. There was this one today where it was like 3 of the Seiyus playing a Splatoon together, and I think King was trying to say the fourth person they were playing with was good, but it said destroying all of them, or like destroying the world or something like that. I was like, damn, dude, it's getting metal in this game of Splatoon.
Millions of Inklings are dead.
Millions of Inklings.
Oh my god. So, really good song. Really great contrast
super solid
between.
Song. And if you're looking for like insane vocal contrast, this is definitely the one you want.
You know when I talk about an EDM song with that like falls under the same traps that every other EDM song does, that I talk about not liking. When I say I like this song, like, it's a good song. I'm a big fan.
We spent a bunch of time in the last song talking about how weird of a combination this vocal combination is, Kotori and Umi. So our question for you today is, what's a weird vocal combination? What's a vocal combination you want to see? But we're gonna spice it up a little bit. One Muse girl, one Aqua girl. What is your choice, Tyler?
We were talking about this question and we were like, what's one in Muse? And like almost at the same time we were like, no, should they be interchangeable? Yeah, Muse and Aquas. So
yeah, one from each.
I think mine would have to be, after a little bit of thinking, I think I came up with Yoshiko Kotori.
What's the nickname? What's the nickname? Before you go on, what's the nickname?
Yoshitori.
Yoshitori, that's good.
Or Koshiko. God,
Ooh, Koshiko. That's a good one.
Anyway, I think their song topically would be really funny. Like Yoshiko just having Datenshi bouts while Kotori's like, I'd imagine Kotori's
Please relax.
Just trying to, yeah.
Just telling her to relax the entire song.
That'd be good. That'd be super good. But lyrically, I think it'd pretty much be Anemone Heart. If we're being completely real here, I feel like Umi is probably the closest thing we have to Yoshiko, or I guess vice versa. But I would definitely like to hear the contrast of, again, a low alto and Kotori's high harmony, because that's not something you hear very often, and I really like it. So I think I'd like that one a whole lot. So what are we going with? Are we going with Koshiko or Yoshitori? I kind of like Koshiko more.
Yeah. I think that combination would be really neat. I think Yoshiko's able to get a little bit lower than Umi, so I think that would be really cool. And I don't know, this is where I always go with Yoshiko though. Why can't it just be a rock song? Like, that would be cool. And Kotori's just like, half of her lyrics are her panicking because she doesn't know what to do. No, talk about throwing characters out of their element. My choice was like pretty instantaneous that I came up with it. Mine would be Nozomari. Like, I'm a big fan of both those girls. That helps. And wow, that would be just excessively outrageous.
That song would just be dangerous. Like, don't listen to this song if you're like prone to heart attacks.
Dangerous. That song would be just a stick of dynamite. And I feel like the lyrics would be like Mari comes in and she's like being Mari and expecting her partner to be kind of weirded out by it, but Nozomi's just like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. That's all right, I guess.
That's pretty good. I feel like that exact situation would happen normally too.
And I think that song would just be really fun. It would be such a like strange combination of voices where Mari's a more talented technical singer, but still not. The whole reason you like Mari is because she loses all pitch control when she gets too high. But Nozomi's just kind of like a mess, and that would be really fun to see how those work together. It would be almost like hearing a Nozomaki song, just a little bit different, just a little tweak on it, a little more Mari, so a little bit more screaming.
I feel like Mari's they do have very similar voices, Mari and Maki, but I do feel like Mari just
screams.
You know, like the Chemical X thing where it's Professor X like looking over the thing. What have I done? It's like Mari just looking over her silly meter turned to 11. Like,
pours in a little loss of pitch control. Pours in a little very good at high notes. A little Chemical joke. X. Yeah, a little too much joke in there.
I remember when we were just talking about this. You were just like, I think I might change mine. And I was like, panicked. I was like, no, don't change it. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I came up with some other pretty good ones. Like I like Ellie Rico, just because those two are pretty much the same voice, and I think that would be kind of neat to see how they interact with each other. But Nozomari is pretty great.
Kako and Nanjo just in real life having an actual duet.
Yeah.
So anyway, let us know down below. No, for real. Let us know your answers down below. Again, that's what combination of girls from both groups would you like to see do a duo together? I feel like we're always talking about duos. Like we
duos are great. Duos
they are
awesome.
Super good. I love some duos, dude. Some not full unit stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love full unit stuff.
Full units is great, but like I've said before, like the duos and the trios are when you really get to hear the girls' vocal prowesses.
For sure. So next episode, we got something very, 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 very polarizing between the two of us. Yeah.
Well, I like one of the songs a lot. You like one of the songs a lot, and I think you like the song that I like a lot. We're getting gay next episode. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a good episode. So anyway, we hope you don't mind that it was a little bit shorter this episode, but I do feel like we were a lot thorougher, and you can see a lot more of this in the future. So yeah, hopefully.
Drop a like, a comment, a subscribe. Check us out
follow
on Facebook
on
and Twitter.
We were talking about this like 2 days ago. I just realized that like our Twitter didn't actually have Love Live anywhere in the name, and the only people would know about us are like the people that came from YouTube. So I was like, oh, this is a problem. So Twitter's the same, but anyway. We called it the Titter before.
The Titter. Check us out on the Titter machine.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.